Yeah. All right, man. I asked Sean to come onto the show today. And Sean, how many podcasts you got, fam?
Say it again.
How many podcasts you got now?
I'm on 5 now, man.
Damn.
Like 5. Like I saw the mini mics and I was like, yo, how many you damn.
Yeah, Mini Mics is a collection. My girl Shay Swahal, she has an organization called FAM that is very similar to NABJ, but it's for Black marketing execs and Black marketers. It's called FAM. She just started a podcast called Rhythm and Blues, and it talks about the marketing effect in America dealing with Blacks and different topics. And she just did a podcast on the renaming of the Washington Redskins that'll probably be posted this week. That was really dope. And she's had guests on. This is like episode 4 or 5. So I kind of co-produced that with her. Have another one coming up. Decent Proposal, not indecent, but the Decent Proposal, which is kind of going into lifestyles, man, and whether or not we should have one partner or is marriage the real thing, and being polyamorous and all of those type of things.
Oh man!
Oh yeah, we're about to start recording that in like 2 weeks, and then of course, according to sources, my guys Brian Crawford and Christopher Casey, when we talk all NBA, get some music and stuff into it. And some other things in the work. So yeah, I'm up to 5 right now, man. I'm up to 5.
So for those who don't know, not only is Sean a dope person in media, but he's a man of the cloth, man. He's a pastor, fam. I come to him if I need a scripture. So when I saw the Jonathan Isaacs, for those who don't know, Jonathan Isaac, small forward for the Orlando Magic, was the first and lone player to not only stand but not wear a Black Lives Matter shirt. I think it was Myers Leonard didn't stand up yesterday, and Pop and Greg Popovich and Becky Hammond didn't kneel for the national anthem. They stood. But they had Black Lives Matter shirts on. And Pop, I don't think we could question Pop if he's an ally or not. I don't think we could question Becky Hammond either if she's an ally or not. Myers Leonard said that he and the team had some very honest conversations. He stated his reasons for standing. It's the normal. I got my brother, he's in the Marines. I know Navy SEALs. Interesting video that I saw on Twitter I think they said it was the Navy SEALs Museum. These cats had on a cap shirt, a cap jersey, and they had the dog biting stuff on. And they had the dogs sicking the guy, and he had the Colin Kaepernick thing. So I don't know if Myers Leonard saw that shit, but you know what? We can expect that one. Right. But Jonathan Isaac, I think he's 21, 22 years old. He ain't past 25. He said that the kneeling and the shirt don't equate to Black Lives Matter or something like that. But he started talking some things about, I started looking at his Instagram.
I got the quote, man. You want me to read the quote?
Hit the quote.
Okay, he said that he believes that his life is supported through the gospel, through Jesus Christ, and that everyone is made in the image of God. And we all fall short of God's glory. Each and every one of us, each and every day, do things we shouldn't do, say things we shouldn't say, and we hate and dislike people we shouldn't hate and dislike. And sometimes it gets to a point where we point fingers about whose evil is worse.
Now, he said that, shouts out to Taylor Rooks. She asked the question. And that's combined with the kneeling, the shirt don't equate to Black Lives Matter, all that stuff. But I went to go looking at his Instagram, right? It looked good. Went to go looking at his Instagram, and I see that he's highly religious. And it was like he did a sermon. He put it in his Instagram bio, and he pinned it on Twitter and everything. So I felt that it wouldn't be right to have the conversation because I got my thoughts on it, but I want to bring my homie on to talk about the religion side and what exactly is he's talking about, and in his opinion, what is he right on or what is he falling short on? So first, when you saw it, because I sent it to y'all in the text thread,
right?
You and Brian. So when you saw that, what was your thoughts first?
My initial thought was, man, I don't want to take this out of context. Let me listen to the young man. He just posted. He just talked about the quote, and for me, the young man was going down the right street and explaining himself, and then all of a sudden he made a left when it became about him personally. Because I feel like if you're going to explain anything scripturally, which is what he was trying to do, you can't make it about dismissing whatever it is that you're trying to explain over. So in essence, he had to be mindful of the fact that his teammates and other people are in similar situations as him, as far as being a Christian, going to church, having their lives influenced by the gospel, and they might not feel the same way. So I don't need to allow my comments to isolate myself in the midst of this to say this is a generalization of how people that are impacted by the gospel feel. And that's the way he made it sound. And in doing that, was very dismissive, in my opinion, was very dismissive of his teammates, everybody else that's an activist, and people that are operating in Black Lives Matter. For me, I can relate to the road he was trying to go down, Bang, because I'll never wear a Black Lives Matter t-shirt just because. I haven't done so. I have friends that have Black Lives Matter in front of their house. They have flags. They're into that. I don't have to do all of that to be an activist. You know me in ministry. I've taught young people. I've mentored young people. I've been doing it for years. So I don't care about what you wear and what you see. All I want to know is, are you putting in the work? That's what matters. The quality goes in before the name goes on. So if all of us are really truly putting in the work that lines up with the movement of Black Lives Matter, then we'll make progress. The young man definitely needs to study his word a little bit more. I felt like he tried to consolidate sin in his comments, and in trying to consolidate sin, he tried to make, what happened to George Floyd similar to you or I telling a lie.
Right. Okay.
All the same, and we all fall short. Hold on, young man. That's the wrong context of that scripture. Yes, we all do fall short, but whether it's naturally or spiritually, there are degrees to what you do. That's why you have first-degree murder, second-degree murder, third-degree murder that come along with different sentences. Why? Because they are regarded as being worst or at a different level, and that's why you get a different punishment. When you're talking about taking somebody's life, there's no way you can use that scripture in context to explain, well, I have to love this person through this, just like I have to love that person through murder. It takes on a totally different context. He needed to be aware of that in his comments, and he probably needs to walk it back in the coming days and say, yo, I really didn't explain what I wanted to get across the way it needs to be explained. And this is what I really meant. I apologize to those that I offended. And just do that, man. He's a young man. As you said before, if you look at his social media, he's very real about his spirituality and his relationship with God and his walk in the word. And I applaud him for that, but I will not applaud him for trying to isolate himself as a believer as a way to explain away why he didn't want to kneel and wear a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. We all struggle with trying to explain our emotions. Obviously, that's how he felt. If you have a girl, man, you struggle with telling her, like, you getting on my damn nerves. That's a real struggle. Like, how can I tell my girl that I feel like that she's getting on my damn nerves? How do I tell her that? And you struggle with that. Sometimes the best way is to just be truthful. Don't try to explain it, because you're talking to people. I understand you're spiritual. I understand you believe in scripture, but just simply say, I am impacted by the gospel of God, and I did not feel like that was the best way for me to express my support of Black Lives Matter. That lets people know that I support the movement, I support what it's about, but I don't think that's the best way for me to portray or show my support. So I chose not to do it. Who's going to argue with God? I mean, who's going to argue with that?
I mean, I've said on this show, and on others, like, talking about God, you can't boo that. It's the Apollo.
At all. You can't.
You can't boo that. All right, so moving away from the religion part, and Mike, you can tell me if you feel this way, and Sean, you too, but I'm not with symbolism. I'm not the biggest symbolism person. I'm all about, like, I don't care if you kneel. I don't care if you wear a shirt. I want to know the actions. I want to know your actions.
Right.
But but the other reason why I'm cool with the symbolism, because when one person don't do it, all of a sudden
it looks tricky.
It's trick bag, because now you're gonna look at ESPN and they're almost gonna have a tally of people who don't stand. And then if you look at Jonathan Isaac, if you look at his social media, you see who he followed. He followed basically damn near Trump and all of the cronies.
Right.
That's what you own. That's cool. But then you fail to realize how much work he's done in his community. He had won like the Orlando Magic Community Award when COVID started happening. He gave to all of the schools who for them to make sure that they kept feeding kids and all that stuff. So it's almost like it's the symbolism. Everybody gets stuck on the symbolism and they're not paying attention to what other people are doing.
Right.
But on the flip, if my teammates are kneeling, I'm probably kneeling too.
Yeah.
We've all played organized sports, and you don't want to be the one, because then the attention is thrown on you. But then if you look at his jersey sales, his jersey damn near sold out on NBA.com. Shouts out to Jordan for putting that up. It's damn near sold out on NBA.com because you got all of the Trump folks like, oh,
absolutely,
that's the player I want to support.
Right.
He didn't wear Black Lives Matter shirt. Matter of fact, did y'all see the video of the woman getting slapped by the Trump supporter? If y'all ain't seen them, put that up in the group. He whined back. Wow. And she was white. White on white crime, lady. But I digress. But anyway, like, I think that when all of this stuff happens and the symbolism stuff starts to happen, and then the minute where you kneeled for 5 days, but now you're standing, and then next thing you know, that like you're on ESPN for not standing, I think that does more harm than it does good.
Man, I can agree with you, Mike. You can go ahead. Man.
I think y'all kind of touched on it. Y'all kind of touched on everything, and I agree with both of y'all. Like, I think he kind of made it just about him. He made it about himself, almost. Like you said, like what Bang just said. If my teammates are out here kneeling, I mean, I'm gonna have to roll with my guys, man. Like, I think that at the point, like he said, he made it about himself. Like, it ain't just about you, my dude. We out here fighting a bigger fight. So I agree with both of y'all. I'm with y'all on this one. I don't really got much else on it. And I don't feel like necessarily we have to really like dig at them and really like, the criticism on them. I don't think it got to be like too crazy. Like, I don't think we got to.
Is the criticism warranted?
I don't think it's necessarily warranted.
We killing them out here.
I don't think it's what you think. I don't think it is though. I don't feel like
criticism though. Like,
hey, he MAGA. That's what they did.
Criticism. Do I criticize him for standing on his faith as far as what he chose to do? Mm-hmm. No, I don't think that's warranted, because that's the way he felt about the situation.
Yeah.
Do I criticize him for not being wise enough to express why he chose to make that decision? Mm-hmm. Yes, I criticize him because if he has given sermons and he has those posted on his social media, then he should know how to set up a statement and structure a statement, because that's what ministry is all about. If you've given sermons, then it's about being inclusive and speaking about principles to include everybody from every walk of life, that it can impact everybody. It's not just geared to one person. So like you said, everything he said was geared towards those Trump supporters. Those that are against the movement of Black Lives Matter. He should have thought more about the fact that, wait a minute, what I have to say just can't be streamlined, or can't seem like it's streamlined for one group of people. What I say has to show that I support what this movement is about, but let people see and understand why I've chosen not to kneel and not to wear this t-shirt. And let them know that even though I'm different, I am in solidarity with my brothers in their beliefs of what needs to happen as far as police brutality and as far as the impact on the Black community with it. There is something he should have thought about. And maybe maybe he didn't expect the question from Taylor. He should have expected the question.
And out of all people.
And Orlando Magic PR should have had him prepared for the question when they knew that he was going to make that decision and portray his thoughts that way on the court. But other than that, I think Vincent Goodwill, his article was pretty much spot on, man. He said, who can argue with God? If he had just left it at that, he would have been fine. When he went down this long winding road of explaining that we all fall short and bringing sin into the picture and trying to consolidate it and equal it to what happened to George Floyd and the movement, that is where he lost a lot of people.
All right,
a lot of people immediately became offended.
All right, so we got Sean Davis up in the building, Many Mike's Pod, according to sources, about 15 other pods, basketball enthusiast. So we're watching the NBA intramural series, fam.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it. Mike, you call it the Disney Invitational?
Disney Invitational.
So how y'all like watching these games? Because I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't.
I would just keep. I'm gonna jump in first because today has really been like the first day, like I actually watched the full game. I haven't watched the full game yet. Like I literally just watched the full game of Boston and Portland, and Portland was getting blown out. Like the game looked like it was out of reach. Right? Huh?
They were down 26.
They were down 26 points. Like they was getting they just looked like they didn't come out to play at all. They wasn't ready. And all of a sudden, third quarter, Dave Dollar showed up and they, they got it back to 10 points. And then you kind of like feel it like the game atmosphere. It's like playoff atmosphere almost. Right. But the main reason why I was skeptical about the whole NBA like starting back up, and we knew that it was gonna be like a pickup game field. That was the reason why. Like we're not gonna get no crowd. We're not having we no cheerleaders out there. We're not gonna see like the concession guys walking through the crowd. We don't have any type of actual NBA game feel. Just these guys out here playing in in a court, like playing on a court with nobody out there. But the NBA has incorporated virtual fans. They got, so people are, I guess, they're on their webcams and they're watching the, the game, and then they got they doing what we're doing right now, and they're watching the game. So they've incorporated that, and then they've incorporated like crowd noise, and literally like in the 5-minute mark, left of the game, and it was like really close. You can hear like it was like really loud. You can almost think that we in an arena, like they're playing in an arena. It was like that loud. The crowd noise is defense. You think it's people there. So that kind of restored the feeling for me. And I was like, okay, if I could get any game like this, I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I put on Twitter, I said, I'm sold on pandemic basketball. I'm cool with it. If the games are going to be like that going forward, I'm all right with it.
Those games like that Portland game, anything involving that 8, 9, 10 seed out west, is going to be good basketball.
Oh yeah,
right? Because the Portland Memphis game was dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they went into OT.
The Portland Boston game was dope. The Memphis San Antonio game was dope today. That went down to the wire. Now San Antonio's the 9th seed, chasing Memphis. So facing that 8th seed, those are going to be very compelling games. Like you said, the atmosphere today was funny. Being able to watch Paul Pierce on his couch go from jumping up and down, kind of like having the sad face.
Yep.
When Portland took the lead in the fourth quarter.
I seen a shot of Paul Pierce. I think he was asleep or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he sleep? Like, you know, so it was crazy though. And then they had Jason Tatum's son. He was on there as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think that's dope. I think that's dope to incorporate things like that. But I think what sold me was the crowd noise, though. Like when they actually had the crowd and they had them cheering and everything like that, you're watching it and like, wow. So it's like, okay, they got that NBA game feel in it.
They've done a good job of getting it to as close as normal as they could. Just something. I was doing the game, producing the game on Friday night, the Houston-Dallas game. And then post-game, John Barry was talking about going into it, how difficult he thought it would be because he thought he would be calling the game and be able to hear the call of other people that were there to call the game. Like the TV side, he thought he was gonna hear Doris Burke. And he said once they started pumping in the noise and everything that they added to it, he said he couldn't pay attention to anything. He didn't hear anything. And it was just like he was calling the game. It seemed very normal to him. So, I mean, the product to me is very, no one's playing defense.
It's really they're playing in the gym. It's actually pickup game ball. They're pickup game. It's pickup game ball.
I will say this selfishly before Bang. I know you about to. I will say this selfishly. Coming off the Last Dance, you know what I'm saying? Standing on that Michael Jordan is the GOAT with my flag, standing on that hill forever. I'm enjoying watching LeBron James.
Well,
I'm enjoying watching LeBron James.
Oh,
I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm like, if this is the demise before our very eyes, I'm here for it.
So you're insinuating that LeBron James is finished?
All I'm saying is he looks real sus right now in these first 2 games. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying down the road, if we find out that, whoa, this was the start of something, yep, it's well worth it.
I was not going in that direction, ladies and gentlemen.
He turned it right into the. Okay. Are you one of those guys, Sean? You one of those guys?
One of those guys. What do you mean?
That that hates on, not hate on LeBron, but
No, he's not.
No, I'm actually not.
Oh, okay.
You can ask. He'll tell you. I've had debates with my podcast co-host Brian Crawford about. He's been better than Kobe for 10 years. He was better than Kobe before he won a championship. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I've had those debates. I've defended him, but right now. I think the LeBron stands just kind of took me to a place, during the months of May and June that I was just like, you know what?
They've only played 2 games, though. LeBron hasn't played bad.
He's looked washed, bro.
Nah, he about to turn it up. He about to turn it up. When the playoff time comes, y'all know how Bron coming in the playoffs.
He looks very equal to MJ Wizard, dog.
Okay,
that's tough.
So
I mean, dude, he's 35, 36, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
He's possibly in the best shape of his life.
He didn't take the 2 years off that Mike took. So at some point, it's going to catch up with him. I don't care how he looks. I don't care how chiseled he is. At some point, it's going to catch up with him, right? Yeah. So last night, when I'm looking at Anunoby, and these young, athletic, long athletes for the Raptors, and they just looking at him like, nah, you can't get past us, dude. And I'm like,
you think? Okay, so I have a question because I shitted on the Toronto Raptors. Said that they no Kawhi. I didn't think Siakam was going to be this.
Right.
I didn't think OG was going to be this.
Right.
I thought Marc Gasol was on his last legs. I had all my reasons. All right. And if it was one thing that I was wrong on for the NBA season, it was this. I said OKC was going to be dope. Golden State was going to be terrible with or without. Like, that's literally the one thing that I've been wrong on the Toronto Raptors. With that being said, first, let me go to the intramural Disney Invitational.
How are you feeling about the NBA right now, man?
See, that's why I don't like it. It feels intramural-ish to me. I forgot.
For people who don't know what that means, explain the definition.
Basically, like a gym tournament. That's what it is to me. Mm-hmm. Like this is export fitness. The export fitness section is the East, and the West is Lifetime Fitness, and they're playing in their joints, and then they're all gonna meet up at Bally's, and they're gonna hoop there. Like that. That's what this is to me. And it's not even about the crowd. It's not just about the crowd. Because like I'm looking at the WNBA, and Bill Laimbeer looks funny as hell. Like Bill Laimbeer is looking hilarious right now.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Keep going.
Go ahead. Like it's not about that. It just there's no defense really being played.
Not yet.
I don't. But see, that's what you get for intramural. Like right now, nobody's playing no defense.
These are actual pickup games. This is how pickup games are.
These are literally pickup games.
These are how games are. Exports fitness. I played. Yeah, I ran full courts at export.
Yeah,
this is how it is.
The best team loses 1 or 2 times because they was bullshitting, and then they come through and they whoop everybody's ass. All of that stuff. So the LeBron James joint, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I don't really see it yet. I don't see that.
I'm not there yet, but I've been seeing it even before. Like he's 35. He's been playing for 17 years. It's coming, fam. It is what it is. But there's no defense. Nobody's playing hard and everything. But then when the playoffs comes, then everybody gonna want to start playing the DN up and that thing. Every game gonna look like the Clippers and the Lakers and all that stuff, but it's still going to feel like Bally's. We're just trying to get to the Bally finals. We're just playing that export versus, and then we're gonna be playing that Lifetime Fitness. TJ Warren, I ain't got nothing against TJ Warren. I think TJ Warren is dope. I've always thought TJ Warren was very underrated. But he scored 53 points for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. And shouts out to Big Man. Man was like, you know what, he did score 30 in the quarter. Like, yeah, but he scored 36. He scored 36 that game. He scored 6 more points. This man took off in the fourth quarter. And then that's not even mention Kelly Olynyk scoring 20 in the fourth in the Miami Heat game. This should not be the restart of the NBA season. This should be, all right, man, let's just get some teams together. Let's Rucker Park it. You know, let's above the rim it. Russell Simmons can really be on his what's the name? On his Dwayne Martin shit.
It's great sight lines down there, Bang.
That's cool.
Great sight lines for the shooters, man.
That's cool. That's cool. Intramurals, fam. Like, I'm sorry. I don't like, and I talked about this.
So you're not looking forward to the second bubble with the Bulls then?
Are they doing that? No. Is that happening?
They have to do it. Well, the league is pushing to do it, and the coaches, because it gives teams an opportunity to see those that will be entering free agency.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm cool. So they can fill out their roster and have free agency before the draft. And I think that's going to be the template moving forward. Free agency is going to end up being before the NBA draft.
Man, they should. If they was going to do that, then they should have had that going when this was going.
Like, no. With it.
I kind of agree with that. In a different area, they should have had it here in Chicago at Hoops.
But they should have been. They should have had that going though. Like if they was going to do that.
They do it at McCormick. You know,
they should have had that rolled out.
But my thing with that, I like that better than I like this because it's just people hooping. That's literally an intramural. So we just really getting up. We just hooping, staying in shape. We're not going to be playing for what? Since March.
Yeah.
And then the season starts back up again. Preseason starts back up again in November, and the season starts in December. I think it would be unfair for those 8 teams to not do something. But damn, I like that more because it's the Huff teams that will be playing hard because some of them are going to be free agents. Some of them want big money and they're on terrible teams. And we ain't got shit else to play for. So let's go ahead and get it. Whereas with this, you're going to play 8 games just to get to within 3 games of the Memphis Grizzlies. We know the Washington Wizards ain't going to be one of them.
Right.
But they like, yo, B team number 22. I said on the show last week or the week before where they should, if you were going to do this, they should have just invited the top 4 teams. That's it. If you want to make it 6 and make it a play-in game, that's cool with me too. But there's only a certain amount of teams that's going to make it. And then once they do, we good. Because the worst thing the NBA wants, and I'm sorry, this is my opinion, but the one thing that the NBA don't want is the Lakers getting upset up in the first round in the intramurals. They don't want that.
It's not happening.
It looked good on paper.
Happening. Even with the wash going on.
But I would say this though. Look, the only way the Lakers could possibly get upset in the first round is if Portland gets that spot. Portland is the only possible team that can upset them. Like Memphis is not gonna happen. But we're gonna see that Dame that like how Dame when it was playing today, Dame and them play like that. If it was like playoff time right now in an arena. That's how they play. That's why I was sold on it because of the way them guys went out there and they were playing. So I was like, okay, this is that feel.
This situation is more structured for teams like them instead of even your better teams. This ain't really structured. Oh, we got a lot of depth on the team. So the fuck what in this case? Because all we doing is running up and down, and we not flying nowhere. We're not
basically you saying Portland is just playing their game.
Yeah, and playing like their game. Houston, like the only team that I see this benefiting from a team standpoint is the Toronto Raptors. But the only reason why is because them cats did they bubbled themselves months prior just to practice to even get to this point. So they've really been hooping together, literally since this shit started.
But no one feels that this is going to be a legit NBA championship. If you're watching this, no one is saying like, okay, I'm going to equal this to any other NBA championship that anybody else wins.
We're talking about LaWash here, and if the Lakers want to win it, you goddamn right. You're going to be up in this some dude pod group, and you're going to see every damn LeBron James stand up in this joint talking about some, see, this is tougher. Mike ain't never had to do nothing like this.
Right.
Never had to win no championship in the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Lou Williams came up in there and he lied, talking about he just got some wings, but he got wings and a social distance strip. So he probably fucked it too. So he could have brought in COVID to the teams, but he didn't. But still, it was the threat, and LeBron James beat the threat. So, and you saw what he did the first game, shut down Kawhi Leonard, shut down Paul George. Yeah, that's why he the greatest. And he won the championship during the pandemic. You tell me how many basketball players that won a title in the pandemic. I'll wait.
That's the thread of tweets right there.
Yeah, you can't tell me. Did Michael Jordan win something in the pandemic? No, he did not. Yeah, they might have been shooting in Chicago, but that's about it. Like, I don't want to hear that, fam. Nah, I would have just cut this season off, and I would have just made this literally a intramural series. If you wanted to show up, show up. If you didn't, you didn't. Just make it for bragging rights. Don't turn this goddamn championship into some intramural finals. Then you're going to have Bill Russell as one of the virtual fans and shit. You don't want to fly his ass down to the bubble because if you fly him down, he might get sick. And Lord forbid we lose Bill Russell to a pandemic because we want him to pass over a damn trophy. Right. Like, come on, man. Like, nah, it's just hoop. If they would have just said, yo, this is a little invitational, and even invite past and present players from the team. Like, maybe Pooh Richardson still got it. Maybe Gary Trent want to play with Gary Trent Jr.
Come on, man.
Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. I do something like that. I don't want to see this. Then you see Paul.
So basically, you're saying this has little to none entertainment value for you.
Man, fam. Like,
from Mike, you said today.
Today is where because I haven't watched the full game yet. I've only watched pieces of every game, like the Lakers and the Clippers. When they played on the first night, I think I fell asleep, and that game was so horrible. Like up until I guess the fourth quarter, it got good, but like the first 3 quarters, it was bad. Like it was like they were sloppy. It looked real bad. Like turnovers were everywhere.
I like it from a intramural perspective. Like, come on, man. Matter of fact, it was Cam who I was talking to, and I was saying from a basketball perspective, it's dope, but like it's still intramural. It's still me watching the homies at the gym hoop and waiting for who's next. You know what I'm saying? This is still like your girl and her girls like, yo, they at the gym, let's hoop and let's go see them hoop. And now you got to play extra hard because you don't want your girl seeing you get crossed over and get hooked on. This is that. This is not truly NBA to me. This is simply niggas hooping.
It's not truly NBA, and I agree with everything you saying, Bang. But like I said, I applaud Adam Silver and the NBA for trying to do the best that they can to give it that NBA feel, like to give it the actual NBA feel. That's how I see it. And today was the day where I was thoroughly entertained. That Portland Celtics game is the one that entertained me the most. I was thoroughly entertained, and I felt like I was watching a regular NBA game.
I think it's going to be, Mike, I think it's going to be different levels too, right? I think we're watching like the entry level. I think once the playoff seeding is there and teams go into series format, I think we'll see the games raise another level.
Absolutely. I think so too.
I think we'll see the players take the games a little bit more serious.
I think so.
Houston is never going to play defense. So if you're watching a Houston game, you're going to get a high scoring game. But I think once we get to the seedings for the playoffs and they start getting to a series format, I think you'll start seeing a little bit different package coming from NBA players across the screen. And like you said, man, it's just in the midst of this, it's just good. Look, man, I was watching the Blackhawks yesterday, dude.
But then the playoffs,
I'm like, yo, it's playoff. Dude, like NHL playoff. Please tell me NHL playoffs is not one of the best things you can watch on TV.
Yeah, hockey. I can watch hockey now.
How are those hockey games looking nowadays? I haven't checked out a hockey game lately.
But I mean, it's piped in noise. It's the same. I mean, you know what it's like. Have you ever watched the outdoor series? Every year they play 2 games outdoors in a football stadium. Usually, that's what the field. That's what the vibe is like.
Okay,
because the fans are like really far away. You have the ice rink right smack dab in the middle of the football field.
Yeah,
and the sound is totally different than being at the UC. It's just totally different. And that's how it sounds, man. And the fact that Blackhawks won, I'm like, cool. I like that. I'm a Chicago dude. They won. If I get to see them another 2 or 3 times, if they go to the next round, that's doper. You know,
I almost guarantee one of those teams are going to be the team that win. Because hockey, once you get hot, it's a wrap.
Well, that depends on the goalie. Like Corey Crawford is coming off that COVID thing. So, you know, if he can stay away from that.
I'm just saying, whoever's the hot team in general.
So are you rolling with that in the NBA? You think an underdog is going to win a championship?
Because we all know in basketball, the best teams always win.
Usually the best team has the best player. So the best player is Kawhi for the Clippers. The Raptors is what, Siakam?
Yep.
Milwaukee.
Siakam is technically the best player on Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless you just want to give it to Kyle Lowry.
I'm about to say Kyle. It is Kyle Lowry's team, no? That ain't his team.
Yeah, because he's the OG.
But yeah, Siakam probably
Siakam the best player on that team.
The best player on the team.
Milwaukee is Giannis, of course. And the Lakers is Anthony Davis. So
it's Anthony Davis, huh?
We talking about the best players on the team, right? All I know is this, man.
Anthony Davis is the best player on the Lakers.
This is a wish and a prayer and facts all wrapped in one. Anthony Davis better think long and hard, very long term in his free agent decision.
Okay, I got a question on that. I got a question on that.
He better look at LeBron the same way LeBron looked at D Wade at the end of that Heat thing.
I was about to ask the question. That's what I was
same way. Ask yourself, how many more years does this dude have? And I'm not about to get stuck out here in LA by myself.
Okay, I mean, but I've been had that question. That was one of my reasons. Like, why is you going to LA?
Build around you?
Yeah, that was one of my reasons about him going to LA. Like,
I'm being selfish, man. I'm just being a Chicagoan right now.
No, I mean, I'm not saying he should come to the crib, but I question you going to a team where a dude might got 3 more years.
Does he have 3?
I mean, he gonna push him. I would say LeBron James has 5.
I'm talking about at this level.
If LeBron got 5 more years.
But he got 5 more years. He got 5 more years because LeBron James is probably the only player at his size and with his skill set where I could go play point guard still and still be one of the better point guards in the NBA. He could turn that power game into finesse because he's that smart, and his basketball IQ is even better than that. So, like, so we ain't got to see him, score 26. He can go down to the Magic Johnson and give you 18 and 12.
So now you get them both with max contracts, and then you have little left over to build a team around them moving forward. So they just piecing and band-aiding the team together for the next 5 years.
That's the issue that I have, because one is LeBron James going to pull a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and say, "All right, fam, this yours." And the other part of it is do you piece together people? Like, if I'm AD, you ain't gonna be piecing together shit during my prime.
Right.
Like, not about to give me, KCP, for another 1 year, $9 million deal.
Right.
No, I need somebody like LeBron needed me.
Facts.
So you better go grab somebody like that, because the one thing you don't want is LeBron James, his body started breaking down and he's not out there. And he's really Dwayne Wade them last 2 years of the Magic.
And then what does LeBron do? Because I think LeBron took a 3-year deal, right? When he came to LA.
He took a 3.
Next year is the last year of that deal. Mm-hmm. So now the conversation is, okay, when you re-up, are you maxing out or are you taking a discount so we can go get other pieces? Because AD is like, yo, I'm getting my big deal now. Mm-hmm. Like, this is about to be my 5-year deal. I'm not taking a discount. I'm getting my money. I'm getting my bread. Bron, you got bread. So you can afford to take a discount so we can go ahead and build a team and keep some pieces with us. So I think around that time, we got 2 more years before Kuzma is up. You got to decide whether or not you're going to keep him.
I'm going to say this too, though. They should have. Look at that Brandon Ingram ball. Lakers should have thought mighty hard about which guys they should have shipped over there.
The deal wasn't going to get done without Brandon Ingram, though.
Man.
No. I think anybody that knew basketball knew Brandon Ingram was the key to that. He was the key to that deal.
I agree.
Yeah. Brandon Ingram getting busy, man. He looked good, yo. He looked good.
So now what's the decision in New Orleans? Mm-hmm. Like, who's going to be the guy? Like, Zion might be the brand, but on the court,
Ingram is a bucket.
Right.
Walking bucket right there.
So who can mess those two to be like a mini Shaq and Kobe in a sense? Like, let Zion be the power dude that nobody can mess with in that paint, and let Brandon Ingram get busy.
Is Zion really
interesting to watch? Say it again.
Zion fat?
Yes, right now.
Like I thought he was looking good. Like they from the bubble and they was like, oh,
I thought they said he knocked off some pounds. Did he?
But remember that picture that came out was before he went and left. He came back from his hiatus at least. I don't know what his mama cooked for him, man. But he came back from that hiatus at least plus 10.
So is he going to be this generation's Charles Barkley? It just seems like it to me now.
If he ends up being this generation's Charles Barkley, that's pretty good. That's pretty dope.
I mean, that's pretty good. I'm not saying Charles Barkley is one of my favorite players of all time.
Pretty dope.
But considering where we are in the world and how people shit on Charles Barkley, like what I don't think a lot of people understand is that the narrative for a lot of players is going to change, and if you're not Michael Jordan, it's going to change for the worse. If you ain't got no ring, the way that the media puts the value on the rings now.
But do the players value the ring now?
You know what? I mean, that's a good question.
I don't think players value the ring. I think they get to a point where they have leverage, like Kevin Durant got to a point where he could leverage the situation to guarantee. I think if players can guarantee a ring, then they'll go get it. But like fighting for it, I don't think they're interested in doing that. When you got a guy like Dame, when you have a guy like Dame saying, I'm cool being in Portland, like you there's no way you want to win, bro.
He can't bring no title to Portland, fam.
No. Nah.
I'm not sure what it is that they missing out there, but it's something.
Hey, let's be real. Like we've been talking about the Clippers and the Lakers. They'll be around. Luka's going to get better.
Yeah.
Dallas is on the come. Houston is going to stick around just because they got James. They have James Harden.
They're the Atlanta.
They're going to be a good regular season team.
They're that throwback Atlanta. Like
let me tell you something. It's a little dude up there in San Francisco that's watching all of this.
Yeah.
That sit back saying, okay, y'all think we dead? And we're about to have a top 3 pick and some free agency money?
Yeah, they do got money.
Me, Clay, and Draymond coming back. Okay.
So Golden State back next season?
Forget about us. Like if they get the number 1 pick and they can mess around and flip that number 1 pick and somehow add Giannis in free agency, like this is what they've set themselves up for, Mike. They've set themselves up to be a player. Even if they just get Giannis, it might be a wrap in the West.
Yeah, we got a message saying that Dallas is further from a championship in Portland. I'm going to say this, and
I agree with that right now.
And right now, that is
at this very moment.
You know what? No, I disagree with that. And here's why I'm gonna disagree with that. I think they're in the same level. I think that we get so. One of the reasons why
series you trust Luka more than Dame right now.
No. Hear me out. They both ain't winning shit. So if you ain't winning shit, you ain't on the same. Like you're on the same level. I think we get so caught up, and I'm trying to say this nicely because I don't want to disrespect nobody in the group. I don't want to disrespect no basketball fan. I think Sean, you know where I'm going because once it clicked for me, it's changed forever. I think we get so caught up in competition, especially when it comes to basketball, that we don't understand that owners don't be trying to win titles. They try to stay competitive.
How many true winning organizations exist in the NBA? 4, 5?
4. And you know what? We talked about this heavily. I removed the Bulls from that because the Bulls was the lucked up and got Michael Jordan. I removed San Antonio from that because San Antonio lucked up and got Tim Duncan. Everybody and their mama thought that was Boston getting that pick. And when San Antonio got it, it was like, oh, okay. And then you pair him with David Robinson. A lot of people don't know Pop was damn near out of there. He was damn near out of there. So to me, the only winning organizations that's in the NBA are the two that's got damn near every last championship. and that is the Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics. But the difference here is that the Lakers won before bust, and they've continued to win in some type of capacity. And they really a mom and pop organization.
I think you can now. I think Golden State has proven that at the top they want to win.
So that's where I'm going.
Yeah,
that's the only descent. The Golden State Warriors are the only team I'll say in the last 20 years that I believe legit wanted to win a ring with and somebody would be like, okay, Miami. Well, what about Miami? What about Miami? Right? I think Miami just needed some shit to stay relevant for a little bit, because I don't think LeBron James was ever going to stay in Miami past the time that he was there.
See, I agree with you, because I think Pat Riley is a winner and always wants to win, but I think sometimes he has to capitulate to Mickey Arison. And Mickey Arison is one of those owners like,
I ain't talking
in this market, we just have to be okay.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the GMs.
Right.
I'm not talking about the coaches.
Right.
I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the people that shell out the money. I'm talking about ownership. Because Mickey Arison could be like, well, we got a ring with Dwayne Wade. We got a ring with LeBron James. We got a ring with Shaq. So we got rings. We can stay competitive. That's the same thing that the Bulls been living off of there and there our whole life. But the only team that legit try to go after it every damn year and try to pull stuff out they had, every damn year and get it is the Los Angeles Lakers, and that's why they got all of those championships. And I think that the league has a lot to do with the Boston stuff, because it's funny when somebody says that the league needs the Boston Celtics to win. And the city of Boston is not even a big market. Yeah. You don't need the Knicks, because the Knicks ain't won nothing since 1972-73. You don't need the Bulls. You need LA and you need Boston. I think there's a lot of teams that's out there that's just grabbing players and they ain't really trying to win, but they're trying to stay competitive. So when I hear, well, Portland and got a better chance of winning the championship than Dallas, they're in a better situation. No, they're in the same situation, because they're going to go up against the same team, and unless LeBron James or Anthony Davis gets hurt, they ain't winning shit.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Allen, I think in the 90s.
Rest in peace, though.
Rest in peace. I think in the 90s, he did a really good job of competing and putting teams on the floor that had a chance to win a championship every year. I think he did I don't know, man. I think Portland is just a cursed franchise from
but see,
Bill Walton's foot, because they should have had more championships with Bill Walton. Bill Walton's foot, right?
See, and to me, to your point,
decision to take Sam Bowie over Mike.
And to me,
and then Brandon Roy and his knee. It's like,
oh yeah, they snake big as hell. But
Portland ain't been right since Kobe lobbed that oop to Shaq.
But see, to me,
that was their chance right there.
Yeah. I used to look at basketball and be like, well, I know the Bulls is gonna win it, but maybe Atlanta, what I'm saying? Maybe the Knicks, maybe the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, nah, fam, no. Because it ain't even no parity in the NBA. So all this person is further along. Nah, fam. If you go to a gym, the best team gonna win. If you go outside and hoop, the best team gonna win. It's very rarely, very, 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 very rarely, you go to a gym and you got the best players in the gym. They sitting up there, got a layup line, they dunking, they getting it on, they know each other, all of that stuff. And then me, you, Mike, and just pick three people out the group. DG and Mike Webb gonna go up against these former semi-pro basketball players in the gym and beat them. It's very rarely that's gonna happen. And then when we beat them that one game, they gonna be like, oh man, y'all think you're sweet, huh? And then they're gonna blow us out. That's the NBA. That has been the NBA since 1980. there used to be a lot of parity, but that parity was in the 70s. So to me, Portland got the same amount of chance to win the title as Dallas, who got the same amount of chance to win the title as Memphis, who got the same amount of chances is throw out another Atlanta, and they ain't even at the joint. The top 4 teams is Milwaukee, the Lakers, the Clippers, and I guess if you want to throw Toronto up in there because they the defending champions, let's throw them in there. All these other people, I'm good, because half of them only want to be there to get them 8 games so they could go ahead and get that TV money, and then let's just make it to the playoffs. And that's the main reason why a lot of these owners, what a lot of these owners want you to do anyway. Make it to the playoffs. Make it as far as you can. Don't win that championship, though, because if you win that championship, we got expectations.
Hey, y'all, hold on. We got breaking news in the Some Dude Pod group.
What up?
Jonathan Isaac has went down with a apparent knee injury.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
That's fucked up. God,
today? In today's game?
I think they playing right. They playing right now. So.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Ryan,
wow.
go put the ancestors are not pleased. That's fucked up, man.
Hey, man, that's wrong for everybody out there that prayed against that young man. Y'all wrong for that. Wrong for that. Misguided prayers. You shouldn't have done that, man.
All right, man. Hey, Sean, go
cover the youngster too, man.
Man, that's messed up, man. See,
based upon what you were saying, Bang, before we close it out, I'll trust Dallas ownership to go after a championship before Portland.
Oh, yeah. Mark Cuban want to win, yo.
Mark Cuban will want to win more than Portland's ownership.
I think if he captain.
No, see, he wants to do. Cuban wants to do both. He wants to win and then take about 15 years off.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying. So now it's coming back on that apex, getting to the apex where he wants to win.
Okay,
yeah.
I've been here for a while. I need another ring.
Yeah.
And then after I win my ring, I'm out. I could chill out a little bit because I need my fan base to. Because
it's been about what, 9 years since they beat the Heat.
Yeah.
9 years?
Before I let you go, Sean. I'm gonna ask you this, and Mike. I'm gonna ask you this too. Don't it feel like the Miami Heat got the LeBron James Miami Heat teams only won more championships than the 2 they got?
Wait, say that again.
Am I the only one that feel like sometimes I'll be like, damn, they only won 2, the Miami Heat?
I always remember the one with D Wade and Shaq. I always remember that one.
No. I'm talking about with LeBron.
Oh,
like sometimes I'll be feeling like, damn, they only won 2.
Oh, you feel like LeBron has only won 2 championships?
No, like the Miami Heat with LeBron James. Like it feel like they won more than 2.
Because they went 4 times in a row, right?
Basically, you're saying
they underachieved. Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like, damn, they only won 2.
They definitely underachieved.
Because that Dallas loss is unforgivable. For me,
no way Dallas should have won that
finals. There's no way you can lose to Dallas. No way.
And I was sitting there the other day. I was gonna text it. I was just like, man, like, the Bulls won 6 and they could have won more.
Right.
Mike. I mean, Magic won his, but it's 2 teams. And I was like, damn, that's all they won. And that's the Miami Heat teams with LeBron James and the Boston Celtics teams with Larry Bird. Like, when you think about they only won 3, you're like, damn, that's it.
KG, Paul, and Ray only won 1.
Goddamn NBA. All right, man. We got more to talk about, but we're going to go ahead and let you go. Sean, let them know where they can find you.
Man, you can find me everywhere at SD2 Mics, at SD2 Mics. And you can hit us up, A2S Network. Follow us on SoundCloud to get all of our content. And Mini Mike Podcast Network, Mini Mike's Podcast Network. As I said before, look out for that new polyamorous podcast we got coming.
Yeah.
Decent proposal.
Yeah. Is This no ordinary love. What would he have some that? No, that we need a black. Well, we do got a black indecent proposal. It was Toi. Think it was Toi. Mike, did you see Toi?
Mm-mm.
See, he didn't see that black movie. All right, Sean, we go all lunch.
All right, boy. Peace.
All right,